Hello world, and welcome to the Ask Metallica multi-channel live stream fan chat. Woohoo! My name is Christoph Leim. I'll be your host, asking on your behalf all the questions you have been sending in using the hashtag #AskMetallica. And by all means, bring it on, send us more. And the members of the mighty Metallica are currently located in 4 different cities all over Germany, where they have been talking about their new album, Hardwired to Self-Destruct, which will finally be coming out this Friday, which is pretty cool in itself. And there's lots of cool stuff to talk about. And if you have tuned in, you surely don't need any introduction to these gentlemen. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Madame et Messieurs, meine Damen und Herren, and I wish I could say that in Danish, here are Metallica.
Mine damer her.
Yeah, there they are. Hello, gentlemen. Did the internet just go woo?
Hello.
Maybe. Everyone's connected? You can hear me all right? Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry, man. And, have you ever done a thing like that before with you guys being in 4 different cities? Did that ever happen before? I mean, rehearsals could become really convenient from now on, right?
Don't give us any ideas.
Well, anyway, fans have been sending questions hard and fast from all over the place, literally and topic-wise. So let's get right into it. There's a lot of questions to go for. And the first one comes from a gentleman or lady called Lemwok via Twitter, and it's going to Kirk. Kirk, if you and James Hetfield did a guitar duel, who would win?
I think we'd probably just cancel each other out. Because he's so good with riff writing, and I had my lead playing. I mean, we would just cancel each other out because, it would be a fantastic draw. But that's something I would like to watch myself.
Let's do a webcast about that, but very diplomatic answer, thanks. And there's another one from left field coming in from Chief Tess We're Dead. That's a name on Twitter. Hi Lars, are you still awesome at tennis?
I am not as awesome as I used to be. Metallica is so damn busy all the time that I don't get a chance to practice as much as I should. But hopefully, at some point in my future, there's another tennis practice session so I can get my strokes back up and running.
Yeah, there were actually a couple of questions about sports. I don't know why that comes up when talking about a heavy metal album, but Lars, you have been jogging through Berlin. You put a pic on Instagram. And there's Maria from Berlin asking via Star FM radio, how do you guys in general stay fit for a tour? That can't be taken lightly, I guess.
Well, I like Maria said, I run, prefer to run over jogging. So I run religiously. I love running. It's not just a physical thing, but it's also it's a nice time out for me. Get a little bit of my own headspace. 30, 45 minutes of just peace and quiet. I love running through cities as we travel all over the world, and I also do a little bit of like a core workout, and obviously being able to drum and do all the things we need to do in Metallica, staying fit and staying healthy is the most important thing.
So with your busy schedule, you can't avoid running through cities at midnight and freezing your butt off. Is that a regular occurrence?
Yeah. Layering, my friends, layering. It's all about the layering at midnight.
And a lot of Danish curses probably. Fuck, this is cold or something. Do you curse in English or Danish?
For helvede.
Okay.
Occasionally I have to resort to the cursing in Danish, which has a particular beauty and poetic quality all itself. Okay. The other guys in the band have heard it often.
All right, and there's another question coming in for Rob from Domi from Bavaria via the Rock Antenne radio station. And Domi says, the new songs created quite a stir. Do you actually notice anything about the hype? Are you tuned into that? Do pay attention?
I think it's gratifying to know that the fans are digging what we're creating and what we're recording. Makes us feel good about what we're doing. positive energy is positive energy. We'll take it. It's a wonderful thing. Embrace it. Yeah, cool.
And if there's complaints coming, how do you deal with that?
There's always complaints coming, you know. I think we're used to that. It kind of goes with the territory. As a band, we try different things. We experiment, whether it's playing with long, you know, Chinese pianist, or you know, making a 3D movie, or making a wonderful album with Lou Reed. There's always these great creative challenges that we take on. And sometimes the fans have a problem with that, and that's okay. You know, it's part of the journey. I feel it makes us better, and it helps us grow as a band. And I think that's part of what's making Hardwired such a great album, is the experiences that we take together creatively and live as well. I feel we're growing still, and that's pretty cool.
All right, so that's all part of the deals if there are complaints. And there's a question about songwriting, but that's kind of left field again. It's for James. I don't have a name for that, but the question is, James, have you ever written children's songs to play to your kids?
Yeah, it's called Enter Sandman. It's about nightmares and beasts under their beds. No,
Yeah.
I have not written any specific children's songs, but you know, all of at least lyrics have been experiences in my life back then and now. So I wouldn't say they're specific children's songs or lyrics, but hopefully, well, there's a lesson in there for me. I don't know if anyone else gets it, but that's okay.
All right. So one of the main questions has been about your live activities, mainly. A lot of questions came in about that, so let's get that out of the way. Will you guys do a proper all over the planet, covering all bases world tour?
We're getting all the
Are you
plans
talking to me?
together now for. Oh, who was it for?
What's that?
Anybody?
If you say someone's name, it's easier.
Okay. Let's ask Kirk. What's the plan? What's the schedule? Any countries with polar bears in it on the agenda?
Well, you know, polar bears are trying to, like, you know, get out of their own region now, as you know. But you know, the idea whenever we put out a new album is to go out on the road and tour behind it, you know, and get the music to the people, get the music to the fans, and you know, and enjoy ourselves at the same time. And so, yes, inevitably we will be embarking on a world tour that's going to be starting very soon, and we're going to be hitting up a few different continents, and, you know, really looking forward to it. It's going to be really, really fun playing the new material on stage, and just, you know, getting out there and touring again behind a new album. It's going to be great fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
Any new places you set your aims on? Any new areas, continents? You're running out of continents, basically.
Well, you know, my stock answer to that is, like, I've always wanted to play in space, you know, on the space shuttle, maybe on the moon, because we're slowly running out of places on this planet to play. So why not think big?
We see what happens and do a web chat from there. Yeah, there's one guy from Germany, Peter Weck, coming in from WDR 2 radio. He asked specifically, when you play Germany, will you play outdoor big or indoor smaller? Let's get that covered. Lars, what's the plan?
Well, the plan right now is sort of being put together. We know what we're doing the next couple of months. We've got some awesome dates in Asia, and we're opening the new arena in Copenhagen in February, and then hitting Mexico and the Lollapalooza shows in Latin America in March, which will be great fun. And then we got to give some love to the United States. The United States hasn't had a lot of Metallica love for the last few years. So, and after that, we're looking to come to Europe. We're looking at all the rest of the world. All that's being planned as we're speaking. So we don't have anything concrete to say right now, but it's being put together. Obviously, we've spent the last few times we were in Germany. I think we played Rock am Ring and Rock am Park, and we played the new festivals in Düsseldorf and in Munich. And so hopefully we'll get a chance to play some indoor shows. We like to kind of mix it up and play some festivals and come back a few years later, maybe play indoors. So we haven't played indoors in Germany in, I guess, about 8 years, maybe 7, 8 years. So hopefully we'll play some indoor shows. It's being put together right now. So as soon as we have concrete answers, we'll let our fans know. We look forward to it.
Cool, that covers Peter's question. And here's another one for James about recording the new album Hardwired to Self-Destruct. And the question is coming in from Aro Imonen via Twitter. While recording, do you listen to other artists and does it influence you?
All the time. Music is alive and well in our family, in our cars, in our house, everywhere. My children love it, and so I'm constantly hearing music and hearing my kids sing and discovering new musics here and there. When we're recording, I'm usually listening to the riffs. I'm listening to the songs that we're putting together. To me, what happens is if I listen to a song, it gets recorded in my head somehow, and I play it over and over and over, and that's how I can come up with either lyrical ideas or phrasings or guitar parts. That's kind of what that does. But I'm always being open to hearing new things all the time and creating.
So it does have an influence. And for Hardwired to Self-Destruct, say the last phase of recording, was there any particular genre or artist that kind of found its way to your playing?
No, the last song, especially Hardwired, was just a kind of an accumulation of all the other songs put together into a short, dense experience of an opening song. But when I say being influenced, I mean, I'm not going out looking for things to influence me. It just happens, whether it's songs my kids play, movies, TV stuff, news events, things that just happen in my life, conversations with friends. It influences me, but I don't know how until I start recording. And then I can actually go back and connect where it came from.
Right, is that the same for you other guys too? Like keeping it all open, not shielding you from any other influences? Lars, how do you do that?
Well, for me, I mean, when we're creating, I mean, it doesn't just start and end with music. I'd like to look at the whole range. I mean, I'm very inspired by film. I'm inspired by art, painting, sculpture, all of it. I mean, any pieces of great creative work just are inspiring, and it makes me want to go down to the studio and work on Metallica stuff. So for me, actually, often when we're working on new music, I don't actually listen to that much music. But other things in life inspire me, my kids, just opening my eyes to what's out there. So to me, it's just taking it all in, having the eyes as open as possible, and just living,
All right. Some artists might do it differently, but I have another question for Kirk coming in from Andy Fennell via Twitter, also about influences. Will you guys do some covers recordings again, like the Garage Days or the Garage Inc. thing?
When we put out the Garage Inc. album, I remember it being a lot of fun. Getting those covers together and changing them and morphing them into the interpretations that we wanted to interpret them as, and we did that album in 1998, 1999, and when we were doing the Bridge show just not that long ago, last month, we had a bunch of covers that we were just kind of throwing around and playing. And, I just realized how fun it is to actually play other people's songs in this band because, no matter what song you give us, and when we start playing it, it's going to just naturally sound different because we're just different musical personalities. But, I recognize there's a lot of uniqueness to that, and a lot of beauty and a lot of fun, and it kind of got me thinking, and other guys in the band thinking that maybe it's time to think about maybe doing a covers album, just like a fun sort of thing, something that we want to do that we think that would be fun to share with everyone. So I'm totally open to doing something like that again in the future because it's great. It's like it's almost recreational for us. It's a great thing.
Yeah, that's where it came from. Okay, that answers the question of Andy. And I have another one for James regarding the new album. It's not exactly shiny, happy people matter in the lyrics and the and the vibe of it. So are you actually losing patience with mankind by now? The lyrics kind of...
Yeah, I'm out to destroy them. Yeah. My plan is to kill everyone.
Those guys.
Yeah, you said it on the first album, Kill 'Em All, so we got that covered.
Okay. No, not at all. I mean, it's a cynical look at the world. Hardwired is, and what usually happens with me, I start off pretty pessimistic, and then end up optimistic, and that's just how my thought process works. So. It's good to be just bark out some stuff every once in a while when you're annoyed, and then eventually you think it through and know and trust and have faith in mankind that we're all survivors and we're out here to survive, and we are a part of instead of separate from the planet.
All right, but still the music is very angry, and you've been doing that for a couple of decades now. A question for Rob. How hard is it to visit that place when you have to play Fight Fire with Fire live? Or isn't it hard to become that?
Oh, it's fun. You know what? It's fun. I mean, one of the things with us is when we put our instruments on, it's like we become teenagers again, and we feel the power of the experience, and it can be just amongst us at the rehearsal studio, at HQ or whatever, getting on stage and playing, in front of a small audience or a large audience, it's motivating, and we feed off that energy. So it's not difficult to tune into that energy. The energy isn't necessarily anger. The energy is just something really actually positive. And it's very natural for us. It's very natural for me. It's like I almost go into a different personality when I'm on stage. People make fun of me for that because I become almost like this Neanderthal character sometimes. Not always, but most of the time. So it's fun. It's fun going into that mode.
So not hard at all. Okay. And there's, of course, a lot of real life to juggle for you guys. And there's a question for Lars that came in via Facebook. At a certain age, kids think that dads are by default not very cool, right? That's normal. Do you guys have an advantage by being rock stars in that department? Are you doing better than us other dads?
I'm sure that all of us deal with more or less the same issues that everybody else deals with. We may have a teeny-weeny slight fallback position on the rock thing. I don't think my kids, they don't look at me as a rock star. They see me in my pajamas with my, remnants of my unruly hair and my unshaven face. There's not a lot of rock star happening there, but I think that they, all of them, are very sort of involved in music. Each in their own way, in very different ways, all three of them. But I do think that they appreciate the musical element of what I do. So you take the star out of that, but sort of emphasize the rock element. And so they do, I think, appreciate the fact that there's a very healthy and nurturing musical environment going on sort of in their upbringing and in their surroundings. And my oldest son is off on the East Coast of the United States in a musical college, and is very kind of embedded in that and playing jazz music and loving it. And so I think that there's definitely an appreciation for the sort of that environment of growing up. And it was the same environment that I grew up in with my dad. There was a lot of music everywhere, instruments and records and all kinds of stuff. So I think that the earlier you can get your kids kind of involved in music is just a great thing for them.
Okay, so you have a slight disadvantage in that. But that brings me to another question that came up a lot of times, talking about home life. If you guys go out to play and you're gone 2 weeks and make a lot of noise, how long does it take to settle back into home life? There's no daily sheets with the schedule, and probably not everything done for you. And maybe you get itchy at showtime. James, how do you deal with getting back into home life?
Oh, believe me, when I go home, there's a list. There's a list of what to do, where to go, who to pick up, who to drop off.
Comes from somebody else.
It takes a while. You know, it takes a while. I think at least the older I get, the transition period is more noticeable, and I think I'm getting better at it and cluing my family in on, you know, how was the last leg of tour? When I come home, gosh, I'm really tired, or I can't wait to go out and eat somewhere or do something with the family. So I kind of prep coming home a little bit, because it's a crazy lifestyle. And if we're doing 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off, it almost takes 2 weeks to get back into regular home life. So, you know, the transition needs to be accelerated a little bit, and I think the more the family is included in on how that process is, the better it is.
All right, so you make it work, but after the 2 weeks settling in, you go out again. That can get a little bit confusing, doesn't it?
Well, it's difficult to leave again, for sure. Even though you know you're going to have so much fun and do what you do out there, it is that disconnecting and connecting again. It's just always a hard part. You know, missing the wife and children is just a reality. But yeah, dad's going to work, and instead of 9 to 5, he's Monday to the second Monday is all it is. So it is difficult, but we make it work, and I'm not complaining one bit about it.
All right, hear you. And that leads to another question. It came in from Leon via Radio 21 in Hannover. And that question gets asked a lot. Gentlemen, it took 8 years. It's the longest time between releases. What took you so long? So you've been actually pretty busy. Maybe you can guide us through that a bit. Kirk, can you tell us something about that? What took you so long?
Well, I mean, you know, I mean, to the people outside the band, it looks like 8 years, but to us, you know, it's just like those 8 years were 8 years of pretty intense activity, and you know, at the end of those 6 years of previous activity, were we able to, like, you know, start working on the new album. And, you know, yeah, you know, 8 years is a long time, but I mean, we just had other things on our horizons that we wanted to do. And, you know, we knew that sooner or later we'd get to making this album. And, you know, the one thing that I tried to emphasize now is the fact that we've made the album, and you know, it was a bit of a daunting challenge, you know, at some point. But the good thing is we have the album. It's about to be released, and let's all forget about the fact that it took 8 years.
All right, good point. Another very diplomatic answer. Thank you, sir. And here's one for Lars that came in via Facebook by Papa Hat, actually is the name. Volker Neidin, how do you feel about people wearing Metallica shirts despite not being a fan? It's actually for Lars.
That sounds
I've been
like a
asked that
very
I've been asked that
specific
quite a
sort
bit
of-
in the last few days.
I wonder why.
I've been asked that quite a bit the last few days. Listen, Metallica shirts on bodies, whether they're fans or not, is always appreciated. It's not even the diplomatic answer. I can't, if somebody wants to wear a Metallica shirt, I'm a happy guy. Put a Metallica shirt on, you're making a statement. Whether you can identify the fourth track on side 2 of Reload or not, doesn't make that much of a difference to me. I'm happy people want to shout Metallica from any rooftop or from their bodies or whatever. It's all good. If they don't, it's all good. It's I can barely keep up with all the things that are just like on my radar and all the stuff that's out there that I have no control over. I just try to sort of let it go. So people wearing Metallica t-shirts all over the world that may not be the biggest fans as some of the super hardcore fans that are emailing questions into this particular thing. It's all good with me.
All right. Thank you. And I have one for Rob. That's coming via Twitter by a lady or gentleman called View. What's your favorite song on Hardwired now that you got the album done? Favorite song to play?
Favorite song to play, we haven't played yet. It's called Spit Out the Bone, and it might be one of the harder tracks on the album. I like the song because, for me, it's very active. It's got a lot of twists and turns. It's a challenge. But I'm also the guy that wanted to play Frayed Ends of Sanity off the Justice for All album for so many years, and we finally did it last summer. So, it keeps me on my toes. I think it keeps us as a band on our toes. I'm excited about hopefully playing that one in the near future. And also that was probably one of the more challenging songs for me as a bass player to take on this body of music. So I'm looking forward to playing that one, and it's one of my favorite songs. But I love all the songs on the album. They've all got their own little personalities, and they groove in different ways, and they're like little works of art, It's going to be fun. Hopefully we play every song on this album soon, tomorrow.
Okay. All right, we will see 2 days for the world to hear it, and we're actually running out of time, so it's... Oh, sorry, I didn't hear. Can you give me James a little bit louder, please? Sorry, could you repeat that, please, James?
I said Rob likes that song because there's a little bass solo in it.
That's all it boils down to, always. All right.
It's all about the bass.
No, you're right. Gentlemen, time's almost over, so do you have any final words to say to the Metallica world outside that has tuned in here with all those questions? And I don't know how many we didn't even touch. Any final words, Lars?
Well, thank you everybody who tuned in to be part of this. I've been sitting here staring into this camera for the last 30 minutes. It's been awesome. It's odd to not be connected to the other guys physically, but I know they're there in my ear. And to all our fans in Germany, we love you, and we look forward to seeing you hopefully very, very soon. And the record is literally moments away. So, count to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and boom, it'll be there. It's just a matter of a couple days now.
Cool, that's pretty cool. Thank you, gentlemen, for tuning in. That was fun. That was the Ask Metallica web chat. You guys, thank you. And to everybody out there, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Danke schön.
Thank you.
Bye. Dankeschön.